Hello everyone, welcome back to our Python tutorial series, and in today's tutorial we will learn about strings and characters in Python. So first of all, we will make a variable, and for a string type variable we use inverted commas. So let us say the name of variable be name. Well, let us define the string as nursery to varsity. Okay, so if we print the name comma the type of this name, and if we run this code, the first is the string itself and the second the type, and as you can see it's a string type. Okay, now let us suppose in our name the string is this is ash car. Then what? See, as you can see, we will definitely get an error. Okay, since this is not in the green color. So for this type of scenario we use double inverted commas. Whenever there is an apostrophe in our string, then we use double inverted comma. Okay, now if we print the string and if we run this code like this, see, we are getting the whole string as it is. Okay, and suppose if I am writing in a string like this is my channel, and I want that this word channel comes in the next line. So for that we will use a backslash with n, and if I run this code once again, then see, channel is coming in the next line. Okay, now suppose we have a string name is equals to, again we will take the same string nursery to varsity, and we are supposed to tell the length of the string. Okay, so for the length of the string we have a function known as length, and in this length function we will pass the variable of that string. So if I run this code once again, see, we are getting 18. So let's count it: 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18. So it's right. Okay, and let me comment it because we will want to use the same name. Now let us understand the concept of slicing. So what we mean by slicing? So when we break the string in substring, that is known as slicing. So how we can do that is simple, like if we make another variable m, and in this name, so the first suppose it takes three things. First is the beginning, second is the ending, and third is the step size. Okay, so we want to begin with the letter n. So the index of the letter n is 0, colon, they are separated by colons, and we want that it should be go on till r. So the index of r is 0 1 2. Okay, 0 1 and 2, and the step size, let us suppose be 1. If we take the step size as 1, that means we are not jumping, like we are going in order, in consecutive manner. If we take the step size 2, that means we are going from, like suppose we are on n, and if we take step size 2, then we are jumping on r, e, y, like we are skipping one thing, we are not following any consecutive order anymore. Okay, so that's the meaning of step size. So here, if I print this m, and if I run this code, see, I'm getting nu. So obviously the ending index is exclusive. Okay, it's not inclusive. And now if I change the step size to 2, then if I print m again, see, I'm getting only n, because now u is not in the index size, u is not in the our domain, because we are skipping u. Like if our step size is 2, like it's directly moving on r, and r is not inclusive. That's why we are getting n as our output. So in this way we can slice our string. And say if we want to take our complete string, then we need not to specify anything like here. Okay, if I take one, that means it means just print the whole string as it is. Okay, and if I take the step size 2, this will help you to understand the logic behind the step size. And if I again run this code, see, we are getting NREYT space AST. Skipping one letter every time. Like in this, we have skipped U, then we have skipped S, then we have skipped R, then just we have written Y, then we have skipped one space, then we have written T, and we have skipped O, then we have written space, then we have skipped V, and so on and so forth. So this is the main concept behind the slicing. Okay. Now suppose we want to print a string 3 times. Okay. So one way we can just type the string 3 times, and then again there is a way which we can do this thing more efficiently is we can just multiply the string by that integer. Suppose we want to print this string by 2 times. That's it. We just multiply it by 2, and if I print this, see, it's printing 2 times. Okay, and so for example, if we have two string s1 which is hello and s2 which is world, and suppose we want a third string which is hello world, that means we want to concatenate s1 and s2. We can just do it by this, print s1 plus s2. If I print this, see, I'm getting hello world. Both the strings are concatenated. Okay, so in this way concatenation works. Now what if we pass a negative index value in the square bracket? For example, if I print name of 3, that means it shall print s. Okay, but what if I pass -3? What it will print? Will it cause any error? No, it will print the fourth character from the right side. That means YTI. See, it's printing this character, fourth character, because index starts from 0, so 0 is n, then -1 is y, -2 is t, and -3 is I. Okay, in this way negative indexing works. Okay, now what if you want to check whether a substring is existing in the main string or not? So for example, if we make a substring nursery, and you want to check whether the substring exists in the main string or not. So for that, we can just use the membership operator, that is in. So like print sub in name, simple as that. And if I run this program, see, I'm getting true. That means substring do exist in name. Okay, so for that, if we want to check whether a string exists on a main string or not, we can just use in operator. Now if we want to compare whether two strings are equal or not, we can just use equality operator for that. Okay, now there's another concept of stripping. For example, if we have a string s1 which has a lot many white spaces in front of it, and let us suppose the name is India. Okay, see, we have a lot many spaces in front of the string and a lot many spaces in after the strings. So if we calculate the length of the string, what we will get? We will obviously get 15. See, 1 2 3 4 5 6 etc. The length of the string is only 5, but we are getting 15. Why we are getting 15? Because spaces are also characters. So how to get rid of that if any user enters any string like that? So we can just easily get rid of that by using the strip function. What strip does, it just removes the white spaces in both the direction. There are two types of strip, R strip or L strip, and the main strip. So if you use R strip, that it will remove it will remove white spaces from right hand side. L strip will remove white spaces from left hand side, and if you use strip, then it will remove white spaces from both the sides. And now if I print a length, see I'm getting 5, the original one. And this strip function will not only remove white spaces, it can remove anything. We just have to specify it. For example, instead of white spaces India, if we have 000 India, 000. Okay. Now if you want to eliminate this 0, we just have to pass 0 here. Okay. Now if I run this, see, still I am getting 5. That means all these zeros have been eliminated. So this is the use of strip function. Now there are two functions, find and index. So we can find any substring in the main string by using a find function, and we can do the same with index function. Okay, but there is a main difference between both the functions. If you use find function, like if I make a substring as 2, simple. Now if I print name dot find sub, and if I run this code, see, it's giving me 8. That means 8 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. That means the string 2 is occurring at the 8th position. Okay, and if I use index instead of find, if I run this again, it is giving me the same answer. So what's the main difference? I will tell you the main difference between the index function and the find function. Okay, so if we consider a string like this, as we know that this substring does not exist in this main string. So let's run this code. See, we're getting a value back error. Okay, substring is not found. But if we use find function over here instead of index, then if we run this code again, see, we're getting -1. That's the main difference. If the string is not found in the main string, then find function will return -1, but the index function will obviously, as you have seen, it will raise a value back error. So that's the main difference between the find and the index function. Okay. Now we have a function known as count, with which we can just count the frequency of any character or any substring. Okay. So if I make a substring nursery, and if I print name dot count sub, so as we know that nursery has occurred only once, so the answer would be 1, isn't it? And if I instead of nursery just make R as a substring, and now we can see R has been occurred 3 times. If I run this, see, we are getting the answer as 3. So this is how we can use a count function with string. Now the main concept behind a string is strings are immutable. That means we cannot modify any character, we cannot replace any character of any string because they are immutable. If we try to do so, like for example, if we just access the 0th character of the main string name, and if we try to replace it with Q, any certain character, and if we run this code, see, we are getting an error. Okay, string object does not support item assignment. That means they are immutable. So here comes an interview question. So if I do like this, for example, we have a string 1 sub, which is equals to R, and we have a sub 1 which is equals to S. If I write sub 1 is equal to sub, and if I print sub 1, and if I run this, see, I'm getting the answer as R. That means the value of sub. And in just the previous demo, we have seen that we are getting an error if we try to reassign any certain character or any certain value to existing element. But in this, we are doing the same. We are assigning the sub string to the sub one string. But why we are not getting any error? So this is an interview question which has been asked frequently in companies. So you all might just ping me in the comment section with the correct answer. And if you don't know, if you're unable to know the answer, then just comment me in the comment section and I will tell you the answer there. Anyways, let's move on. If you want to replace any certain character, okay, if you want to replace any certain character in a string, like for example in the string name, then this string sub, where sub is equals to r, we want to replace r with s. How we can do it? We can just simply do it with, if we make sub 1 which is equal to sub dot replace, and what we have to replace, r, and what is the value with which we want to replace r with, and what is the value with which we want that r should be replaced with. Suppose we want s. Okay, now if we print sub 1, see, this replace function has worked. The r has been replaced by s. Okay, so again you might raise a question that we have told you that the strings are immutable, but still we are doing this replacement operation. Again, my friend, the logic is same. Now we will see another important operation, which is split and join. Okay, suppose we have this main string name and we want to split the whole string into the array of characters. We can just simply do that, as we will make a variable L and we'll just write name dot split. That's it. And if we print this L, if you run this program, see, it has been splitted nursery to varsity. Since, see, we can see the whole string is broke up wherever it has got some spaces. Okay, for example, if we want to split the string where it find a comma, so if we modify the above string as this, okay, if I run this code now, see, the string is as it is, like it was. So this example will teach you how the split function works. Whatever we passed in the split function, it will find that character. When the character is found at that position, it will split the string. So now I pass the comma as a character. Now see, the string has been separated wherever it has found a comma. Okay, so in this way the split function works. Now we will see the join operator. Okay, suppose we have an array L is equals to n comma u comma r comma 2 comma, okay, and you want to join all these characters together. So it can be done with join function. So how join function works? Join function works in a manner like this. First is the string with which we want to join all the characters. Like we want to join the characters, like we want to stick those characters. We don't want to use any separator. So if I run this code, see, all the individual characters have been joined. Instead of this empty string, if I wrote minus, okay, then you might see a change. See, all the characters are joined by this minus. So in this way this join operator works. Okay, so this is the main topic which is generally used in competitive questions, competitive programming. So now here comes some different functions. Now there I'm going to tell you some functions, 4 to 5 functions which are used for string manipulation. First is to check or to convert the string into uppercase or lowercase. If I print name dot to print upper, okay, and if I print this, see the whole string has been converted into capital letters, and we have seen a function is upper. Okay, so this is upper will check whether the string is in uppercase or not. Okay, similarly we have a lower and is lower. Lower will convert the string into lowercase. First of all, make sure it does not convert the same string, it creates a copy. Okay, because strings are immutable, so it cannot change in the existing string. Okay, if we run this program, then whole thing is converted into lowercase. Now if you want to check is lnum. Lnum means is our string is alphanumeric. Since we know there are no digits in our string, that means the result will be false. So it's false. And another function is alpha. That means it will return true if our string consists of only alphabets, no spaces, no any special characters, etc. Only alphabets. Since we have spaces in our string, that means it will return false. Yes, it is returning false. And the third function is digits. That means is our string a numeric string? No, it's not, so it will again return false. Okay, so and the last one is we can sort our string on the basis of characters. So if I just use this sorted and I pass the string, okay, and I run this program, so you can see it has been sorted on the basis of ASCII characters. The strings are sorted on the basis of ASCII characters. We know that the ASCII of N and V are smaller than that of A and E and so on. Since A starts from 97 and the ASCII of N is less than 97, that means so N is coming in front of it. Similarly, the ASCII of spaces are smaller than the ASCII of N. That's why they are in the first position. So, okay. So that's all for today's lecture. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial, and I have also asked interview question, and I have also told you some important functions which are used by the programmers while doing competitive programming. So if you do like this video, please like, share and subscribe, and you can also follow us on our social media handlers, that is Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram and Twitter. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Enjoy learning.